In terms of going to Ngamau, for example, right, you drop the letter at the reception and that's the end of it. I mean, the office of the ombudsman, I know the administrative office, you can go to the chief justice or the chair or something. That's probably easier. Like in Ngamau, people have, they've tried and got completely frustrated, your letters disappear. So is there anybody in particular that we should be talking to, who we have a name that we can go and see so we can get some real action?
I think most of these institutions are in sickbed, all of them, whether it is NEMA, wherever you want to go, we need to reform all over them and so on to move it moving forward. That's in fact the sadness about it. I come from an association where we have a chain of things which we are complaining about what should be done and not being done. We've met them, no response and so on. So it's one of those things that need radical surgery.
Constant Cap commenting that urban planning is done by the people and not for the people. What are we planning and who are we planning for? The second one, what is the biggest question, and this one in particular to you, Elijah, which is, what is the biggest challenge in reclaiming stolen public amenities and land? And this particularly for the National Lands Commission. And the third one is, the following up on your prescriptive statement, and the expression that is on the ground and also online. Have citizens now lost faith in the government's capacity to address land grabbing cases? This a question from Madam Magoya.
Ideally, the planning should be done by people, with everybody involved. Participatory planning is a buzzword and so on. But I have also seen, and I must also challenge ourselves, I was involved in the master planning for the city and so on. And we organized a lot of meetings. Not very many people came. So I guess, again, it's a question of when that time comes. Just like I'm saying, guidelines are going to be produced. We need to be there and say, look, this is what we want to see in our neighborhoods and so on. So people being proactive from that end, I think, will be useful. Putting pressure and saying you can't plan, we have not been involved, is your legitimate right and so on and so on. But you also need to come to the meetings with that agenda. What is it that you like to see happen? What are you planning to do yourself to make sure your neighbor, you are not also part of the problem of sorting out messes, because also we have also citizens who have also disfigured the neighborhoods and so on. So we also need to be on the guard against ourselves and also around the rules. The other point that needs to make planning people-driven is also to question the rules that we have and make sure that we have those that work for us and work for the better good of the people and so on. So in principle, that's what it is. The Constitution also makes it very clear. All the county laws and so on, planning laws clearly say people must be involved. So again, to me, what I have also seen from experience is unless people are organized so that you engage in an organized manner, then that option will just come and pass.
Generally, the Commission, as we know, has the mandate to look into those lands that had been grabbed, or rather that had been taken away, public land. And normally we carry out hearings to know how those lands were taken. And then when we find that it was stolen, then the Commission can revoke those titles. So, but the challenge that we've been facing is that one is that we, the citizens, are also not helping the process. In that, you've heard from our friend John that is almost like nothing can be done. But if we were to ask him, has he ever come to the Commission? Have they ever organized themselves with their MCAs, with their, the people around there who are affected, and come and brought a petition to the Commission to institute a hearing to look at the legality of the land? Because probably even, I don't have the facts, but from what he's saying, probably the land still belongs to the county government. If it is a private, public, that still means it's just an arrangement that is time bound, that is continuing. So now we can't come in there. So where would the petition go? Probably then the county government, whoever was involved in drawing up those agreements. And as you said, do we see those agreements? Do we really know? So the first port of call would be to go and ask for those agreements. What do they say? Where are we in those agreements? What are the benefits that we now get as the locals of Eastleigh? So, because of course such agreements, such arrangements are also supposed to benefit the locals. So those are the kind of things that before we could even move forward and talk about reclaiming, we need to also take time and look at these things critically. Look at where the gaps are. Find out where there's a problem. Then from there, you take the necessary steps. You can come to the commission. Then the commission can then grant you an hearing on the same land, and then the other party will be called, and you will be called. You bring your papers, they bring their papers, and show how they acquired those lands. And in the event that it was irregularly done, it was through corruption, whatever, then the commission can then revoke those titles and you get your land back. And so another problem again is the court system. You know that there are so many, the cases that we have now are very many. It is clogged, and when you go there, it could take time because we have very many cases on land. So for them to be completed, sometimes it takes long. So, and in the process, you get frustrated, and somehow they fizzle out of the way. You get tired along the road. So that's why we are coming up now with alternative dispute resolutions. We're looking for a framework in which now some of these cases can be settled without having to go to court. And of course, again, corruption is not out there even within the land system previously. So many of those things happened, and of course now we have a very hard time because some of them really have titles that look genuine on the face filing. And so now to revoke them also is another problem. To get the truth is also another problem, and it takes time and it's not easy, it's very expensive. But then that is how we can, then if we can come on board as citizens who are affected, bring up those cases to the commission, and you have a valid case, the commission will always grant you hearings. We will call the other parties, and we will have hearings, and we'll see.
I think the question is, should the citizens lose faith in the capacity of the government to act decisively or in time on their behalf? Well, the truth of the matter is that we can't lose faith, if you will. We should never grow tired of doing good, and because there's too much at stake, if you will. And so I think that one of the things we have to continue to find inspiration, if you will. I think earlier we took a moment to recognize the contributions of Prof and her tireless effort to want to continue to stand for the transformation of good for society. I think that we have the same steadfastness and continue to have the same resolve to make certain that these changes do come that we desire to see. I think that we also cannot always be throwing stones, pointing fingers at other people. I think we need to be looking at ourselves introspectively. As he said, in regards to earlier this year when they were doing the public budgeting participation events, I know in Kilimani, 25 people may have shown up. That's a high number, and so I think that that's our responsibility. That is completely our responsibility to be at every time they call us to be there. Now, I do have some concerns about the times that they hold them, the ways that we are notified about them, this, that, and the other. Now, we can talk about that later, but when you get the invitation, I think it is one of those things that you should batten down the hatches and get there any way you can to get your voice heard, to make certain that your concerns are registered, and to continue to follow them through to completion.